Today on Real Estate on the Rocks, we've got James Rembert, the Zillow Killer.
Welcome to Real Estate on the Rocks, where you get top shelf real estate conversations served straight up, never watered down. Here's your host, Dave Snowberger.
Welcome back to Real Estate on the Rocks. Today in the studio, I'm joined with Marshall Tucker.
Hello.
I forgot your name there for a second. I had to look at you. And then, of course, we got James on the board over here. And today we've got a special guest, one of my guys that I turn to for Facebook marketing and just digital creativeness over the past few years. I got to know this guy about 3 years ago. I picked him up off of a webinar with, or a podcast type webinar with Joshua Smith from GSD, Get Shit Done Network. His name is James Rembert. James, what is going on?
All is well, Dave. All is well.
Perfect, man. Well, I appreciate you so much for taking your time. I know you're a busy person, and you got a lot of things going for you. So you taking your time to talk with us and then our guests is really special. So let's get this thing rolling here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, where you want me to start at? Start where I am, or
yeah, let's go with the who. You know, I mean, I know you got you're known as the Zillow Killer. That's your nickname. I mean, when people talk about you and bring your name up, and they're like, "Wait, who is this guy? I think I've heard of him." I was like, "Zillow Killer," and they're like, "Oh yeah,
did you start that, or
knows that."
did
right?
someone else come up with that?
No, that's an interesting story. That was more of a branding play. I had to speak at Inman, and I'm a big fan of like Cassius Clay and things of typography. It's more of a design concept, and the way it was designed, the way they had Cassius Clay on his robes was kind of cool. And we were just playing with concepts, and I just wrote it. It wasn't that big, wasn't that deep, and I wanted to see how it looked on a shirt. So I did it, and a couple of coaching students seen it, and it was like, that's kind of dope. And I mean, I wasn't trying to identify myself. It was just more of a branding play, just to get the feel of it, and me being creative at that on one aspect of seeing what the type looks like. And I had to speak at Inman, and I have a client. He's out in Australia, and first time I'm on the stage that size, like 6,000 agents there, and just trying to make sense of how do I differentiate myself from everybody else. And I had the content, and if you've ever been to Inman, it's like speak after speak after speaker. And that shit can get kind of monotonous after a while. It starts to sound like Charlie Brown, like wah 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 wah. So I couldn't make sense of it. Like I know I can capture the crowd, but I need them to remember who I was. And I was talking to him. He was like, "Yo, why don't you wear that shirt?" And I was, "What do you mean?" He was like, "The Zillow Killer shirt." I was like, that's low. That might be picking fights, and they're gonna be there. And he was like, "Dude, like you should definitely do it." And for a while, that was more of a mindset for me, as of I didn't want any problems, and I had to remember, when it comes to marketing, we have to pick fights sometimes, even if we're not trying to be abrasive or trying to be like disrespectful. But we have to be able to pick at the situation to get to the pain of where people are. And there's such not a dislike, but Zillow has created such a miscommunication for people. You almost dislike them because it's like, what was I paying you for? You know what I mean? Like you built this conglomerate, but you haven't done anything for the agent. Seems everything was built for you. So that wasn't even the psychology or the thought at the time. And when he said, I was like, I'm back and forth trying to figure out what I'm aware. And my one of the shops I own out of Harlem, I was talking to him, and he didn't even know what it was. He was like, "Yo, that shit right there is dope. The shirt right there is dope. Period." And I was like, "All right, let's do it." Jazz it up, put a nice button up under it, and of course I went to Inman, and lo and behold, the arrangement of where I was supposed to speak at got all messed up. I'm talking about shit hit the fan to the point where it was like, "James, I don't know if you're gonna go on." And I'm like, "Dude, I rode all the way up from South Jersey. I'm going on that stage, even if I'm running on that stage. So you guys have to figure it out." And what happened was I ended up speaking right behind the Zillow representative.
Oh.
And it stuck. Ever since then, it was like, and I was so nervous. I went through my speech so quick, I never said my name. So after I was done, I came to the front, and I'm completely ignorant to the whole speaking situation. Like, I didn't know you're supposed to stick in the green room and hang out and meet people. First of all, they treated me like shit when I was in the green room. I guess because they thought I was trying to be funny with the Zillow killer, but I didn't. It was so far from my mind. I was just trying to be memorable. That was it. And of course, I got a standing ovation when everything was said and done. I went to the green room, and everybody treated me like shit. They were standing and clapping, and I was so over it. I just left. I spoke to everybody, and I left. I went to the front, and when I came to the front, I had two people that came with me, and they let out, like the audience let out, and I was in the vestibule, and at least 200 people just surrounded me and was like, dude, you never said your name. And all of a sudden, a couple of women was like, that's the Zillow killer. And I texted my assistant, and I was like, everything that says Zillow killer, lock that shit down. Nice. And that's how the name stuck.
Yeah. Appreciate the whole explanation of it, because we've always wondered. And I did see that speech in Inman, and I saw you up there, and I was like, this dude's got brass cojones, man. And, and especially being on an event that more than likely Zillow had a high dollar sponsorship in there. And this guy goes up on stage, and I was like, that's why this guy and I would get along well. And so I started following you. I saw you on GSD with Josh. And then, I watched that one and saw you do that. And I was like, yeah, this guy's the truth, man. I'm gonna learn everything I can about this guy. And I started joining you on a lot of stuff, because what I considered, I don't know how long you were doing it prior, however, but when you were getting going with the Zillow killer and digital natives, and then the hyper local domination, I was following you. You were doing a lot of just free content. You were putting it out there in that space where you were attracting people in, like myself and other fellow realtors that were scratching our heads of like, how do we do these things? And usually we like to, kind of gravitate towards somebody that knows what they're doing and R&D them, right? Rip off and duplicate and really just do that. And I didn't have to rip anything off technically, because you were giving it out there and say, dude, put this into action. You were inviting people into these small boot camps that I know you have now that, you've made real, and that, people pay to be in. However, the value, it far exceeds the cost. Does that make sense? Like, I did one or two, I've done 2 of your boot camps now, and the value of whatever you're charging at that moment trumps what I take away in just value. It's just awesome. So why don't you do that real quick? Tell us what about digital natives now?
Well, with Digital Natives is the advertising agency, and I'll backtrack a little bit for the boot camp as well to give people perspective. But Digital Natives is our advertising agency. I have 2 agencies. One called with Digital Natives, which is what everyone knows. We service well over 200 and plus teams and brokerages globally now. But we take all of their paid traffic, their branding, so anything that has to do with Facebook ads, paid traffic, Instagram. Things that we really see ROI, we don't go super deep into everything social. We go to things that we can kind of track and protect that return on investment for our clients. So anything with lead generation, brand building, brand awareness, and building omnipresence is what we do for our clients in digital natives. But the boot camp was structured to make that information accessible to everybody. I move at the level of total abundance. I don't have no scarcity at all. And my only competition is me from yesterday. So I give everything away, because I think the more the industry know, the better the industry can grow and mature, where we don't have to be, if you choose to leverage out, let's say you want to hire an advertising agency, even if you want to spend money in Zillow, it's not out of ignorance. And I think we've moved so much out of ignorance and shiny object syndrome. We just allowed all of these companies to just, almost take over the industry, where we're imprisoned with our own data. I mean, they've taken the full structure of our data and used it where now we are the clients. And it's like, hold up, wait a minute, this is our shit. Like, you're not supposed, like, we're paying for my own information. It doesn't make any sense. And it only came from ignorance, where they understood the power of data. And we hear that terminology and think it's big. Like, we hear data and algorithms, and we misinterpret that. We misinterpret that as if it's like some huge or it's unobtainable. And it is. Simple things that we do, like we talk about video, like we talk about, even now we're moving into podcasting and voice. This is all data building. And because we was, agents have first of all, my argument with the agent, our industry is it is too easy to be an agent. That's one of the biggest problems we have. You know what I mean? Even to do my nails, you need 1,600 hours. You only need 2 weeks to sell a highest price product on the planet. Shit makes no sense. But it's here, and that's what it is. And these companies have managed to, I don't want to say pimp the industry, but they understood, like, hey, listen, the ignorance of the agent is so vast, and it's the truth. We've embraced, we sometimes in meetings, and I sit and listen to some clients and now present clients, and I hear them talk about things they're doing, and the nostalgia that we hold on to is absolutely mind blowing. Like, you do know that there are faster ways, and I don't want to say better, but faster ways to get in front of the end consumer where they are. So we built the boot camp to remove the ignorance, to remove the I don't know. Like, if you choose to leverage it out, it is not out of ignorance, it's out of pure convenience. And we put a price tag on. I mean, I wanted to make it where if I said come in for free, people will come waste my time. I know how that goes. Like, I'll sign up and never show up. But if you put a price tag on it, now if you pay attention. And now I can really show you and take you in depth of what a professional really does and what you should be doing to deploy in your business, to take your business to the next level. And these are the exact same things I did to grow my business. So I'm not speaking from theory. I'm speaking as a practitioner, where we're doing this at our agency. I've sold real estate at a high level. I still have my team. I'm a partial owner with the brokerage. So I'm not absent to the industry of what we deal with, but it sucks that people are so, I guess the scarcity mindset is so strong and so prevalent in some people that they're not willing to share this information, which if I share with my brother, we grow as a family. We don't have to be so, oh, well, that's mine and that's yours. No, we grow as a collective. In the industry, our industry is the only industry where we actually have to cooperate with our competitors. So I don't understand why we harbor this information and don't. And you know what? A lot of people don't know, but those who do know don't say shit.
I agree. All right. So tell us a little bit more about like that boot camp real quick. Actually, let's go into hyper-local domination. So we started there with digital natives. You really drilled down on that one. Hyper-local domination, HLD. What's that about right now?
HLD is the deeper level from the boot camp. So we have I have this rule where I need to get to know who the person is. The boot camp is an entire week, 5 days, spend 5 nights with me. And I get to know who you are, not just as a person, but not just as a business, but as a person. We go into mindset, and of course, we talk about the strategies and the implementation of what it takes to properly succeed when it comes to paid traffic. And for those that want to take it like a level deeper, where they really want some hands-on mentorship and coaching, that's where hyperlocal domination comes in. So it's not a course; it's an actual mentoring and coaching program. Which I'm hands-on with every aspect of with HLD, and to I quickly learned some people can learn faster just by osmosis, and others learn better with just having direct access with someone who's actually doing it. So we do have content, we do have videos, but that's entertainment. I view all that stuff as just pure entertainment because if you're not deploying or actually using the information, you'll never learn what Facebook can do for you. Like, we can talk theory and we can talk about this shit all day, and it sounds cool, but to actually see it done, you have to be deploying, and that HLD is the pretty much the heart of pushing people, pretty much to the point where, yes, we're talking, now we get to work. This is where work happens now. So if you wanted to take a level deeper and you want some real hands-on mentoring and coaching, I make myself, my team available. And I don't abandon you guys with the content. So, it's just my way of giving back to the industry because, like I said, it's, giving, videos and content is cool, but giving access, that's a game changer right there.
Absolutely. We're actually clients we're involved with HLD, and we have been, we saw the value in it. And so we joined you as soon as we could on that. And I've got really James Mendez, part of our team here. He's more of our tech guy, designated techie of our team. We've put him in at a high level, and I know that you've assigned him some mentors, and that's worked out great for him right now. And so he has a greater understanding than he did even, 2 weeks ago, 6 months ago, and I mean, we've dabbled, everybody's dabbled in the Facebook ads. And I think a lot of people are better spent just lighting money on fire, because I think they're running Facebook ads and they're trying to do some of this stuff. And the key word right there was trying. They're not doing and they're not understanding it. And hooking up with you on digital natives and HLD has really given us a better understanding. So I stopped looking at that budget and saying like, well, we spent, $10,000 on ads over the past 2 years. Now we actually know how to track it. So we certainly appreciate that, how you've given us a way to, track it and look at it as an ROI and cut out the nonsense that we were doing. So I highly recommend Hyperlocal Domination to anyone out there. And everybody at the table right here, Marshall and James, are shaking their head yes. So you've definitely got 3 people over here that are doing that. So now tell us about Facebook advertising for real estate. That's your newest group. You've actually made me a moderator on that, so I get to see everybody coming in. I don't ever step my boundaries because I know that's your group. However, I think you needed a little bit of help scaling it and getting out there with some of the people we know. So we've added to it. Every day I'm seeing, 20 agents come into this group.
Yeah.
And
it's a nice flow.
Yeah. So tell us about this. What was your focus with this one right here? Facebook advertising for real estate on Facebook.
Honestly, that's the free group, and that's like the incubator to get to know who I am, get to know who the group is, the vision, the ideas, some of the ideologies that we're trying to focus in on. And it's just like I said, you see, we operate like a family. I have this theory, and I learned this from my coaches. If you're willing to implement and not try, but actually do, and even if you mess that shit up, if you're willing to do and put yourself out there, I have no problem getting up under you and supporting wherever you're trying to take your business. I have a problem with people that move with more interest than intention. And those that connect with me really pick up quickly that if you're willing to move with some true intention, you want to put in the work, listen, let's get to work. Let's go. And we made that where, some people, and it's not as in-depth as HLD or the Bootcamp, but it is a starting point where if you have a real question, you're talking to real practitioners that are we're in the platform. Like, we're doing this every day, and we're not deviating from real estate. We're not doing, chiropractors and dentists. We only understand real estate. This is what I sell. This is what they sell. This is what we deal with. Our clients are realtors and brokers. So it stays in one one direct area where it's just like we can almost create like a nuclear effect where, if you're really connecting to grow, let's rock and roll, and we can grow collectively as a family. So that's like a free group, and that's like an easy way for people to get identified or get kind of indoctrinated to the entire movement, because that's what we're focusing on, is a pure movement. Even now, like I travel about 2-3 times a month, where I'm going to different brokerages and associations, training these agents exactly what we're doing. And if they can give up 3-4 hours, I'll get them at least 90-95% done with the real campaign. And that's what people don't understand. It's not the ad, it's the campaign that makes it work. Because the ad is just distribution, and people see that as something magical. I tell everybody, Facebook ads is not a unicorn. It's an accelerator. And you hire me and you got a shitty business, I make it worse. You can't, that's just how it's done. So it amplifies whatever you're doing. But it's like throwing gasoline on an already burned house. Like I'm just going to burn it quicker for you, man. Like this ain't going to save your business if you don't have one. So you got to have a business. You got to be able to, real estate isn't a complicated business. It's one of the industries, we have no financial cap at all. Like we can make as much money as we want. Done right, this can actually break generational curses where people have a struggle financially. Well, you put in the work, real estate can be that game changer where you are pretty much, you kind of broke the code of how to get out of poverty if you're in that type of world, or if you're struggling financially. Real estate has no cap of what we can make, but we have this poor misconception of what our industry is and how we can really grow in our industry. And when it comes to Facebook ads, like, oh man, my business been shit for 2 years and I'm gonna do Facebook ads, and no. It's not a unicorn, my man. Like, you got to have a business first. So we stress that. Would love to tell you that it's, this is like the pixie dust to make your business go to the next level. If you have a business, yes. If you don't have a business, first we need to get our business together and start to run our real estate business as a business, not a hobby, not a secondary. Right, it has to be a business.
Yeah, there you go, right there. So many of us out here in the real estate world, they don't realize that it is a business and that they are a small business owner. They think, I hear so many things saying, the broker I work for. Man, you got to realize you don't work for a broker, you work for yourself. And the faster you realize that, and then you couple this with building a business, and then, like you said, you toss in an accelerator like this. You partner with somebody like yourself, or some of the other folks out there in this market that are specializing in this stuff. It sets the people apart. It separates the men from the boys and the men from the girls from the women. It's just a different ball game. In you're teaching agents. You're giving agents that avenue, and so that's really appreciated. So I hope as many people hear this podcast that they look you up and they get into action, and they at least join that Facebook Advertising for Real Estate group. That's their first start, and they can judge for themselves what value you're providing. So that's pretty awesome. Real quick, I wanted to speak to. I probably should have started this in the first of the video, but why real estate? So I know you were a realtor for a few years up in there in New Jersey. And so talk about that a little bit. I mean, how'd you get into the real estate space, and then you wanted to really kind of cultivate from there and grow out?
Yeah. I sold real estate for 4 years. I give credit to 3, but I sold it for 4 years. My first year was horrible. I sold to like 4 people in the midget, didn't do much business at all. And that's when I connected with Joshua Smith, was my very first coach and mentor, which, like I said, he really put things in perspective and gave me a paradigm shift where I understood it's a business. I understood my levels of where I can go with my business is all in my head. And so many other aspects that he kind of just changed. I just seen things way different, where it gave me such a shift in perspective of how to view it. I went from my first year doing much of nothing to my second year selling over 10 million in sales. And then my third year, I did about 13. And then my fourth year, I backed up and went part-time and started building out the agency and building out my real estate team, and did about 6 million. So I sold collectively myself, not as a team, close to 30 million, just from understanding and just from a mindset shift and taking a real deep dive into this is a business. I have to run it like a business. And I was hungry, and I know people say that. I was like, everyone's hungry. No, I was hungry. I did an open house for a year and a half straight. Every Sunday I was doing an open house, and I was closing 2-3 deals a week at that time, going into like end of year 2, going to year 3. So it wasn't like, I never pulled my foot off the trigger. Pulled my foot off the gas in reference to where I wanted to go. And the paradigm shift, and what everyone needs to understand, is where we are doesn't define where we're going to be. We have to have some clarity on where we want to go with our lives. And when we have some real clarity on where we want to go, then we get intentional about those movements, where real estate, we get a closing and we go from feast to famine. We make some money, and then, we go broke, and we make some money, and then we on a chill button, and then we go broke again and make some money. And that's not how the industry is supposed to be. Unfortunately, that's a mindset that we've adapted, that fourth quarter is our worst month, and certain times of the year when people aren't buying, and quickly picked up. It's not the market. It's always the marketing of how you position yourself. And then you got to be able to really go out there and get it, because if you put in the work, even if you don't see it right then and there, the law of reciprocity exists. It'll happen. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you got to understand there's certain things that exist that when we understand these principles and laws, the work we put in and the time we put in, we can remove the emotion side of it and know that I am moving forward. And we get so caught up in emotions and things of that nature where we get lost. And, we get a deal that falls through, and now we feel like crap. And that's because we didn't, if we had, we were able to really put the work in, build up our pipeline, and not just build it up and stop, but keep building our pipeline to the point where we have a machine, and we have something in rotation. We have something where If one of these deals falls through, it's cool because I got 3 more behind it, but I'm still building, I'm still working. That's when we understand. That's when we start to move systematically and start to build up a real business. But unfortunately, very few people want to put in work. I didn't door knock. I didn't cold call. All I did was Facebook ads and open houses. And I did an open house every week. And my mindset was if I can, I don't care how many people come. I don't care how many people come to the open house. If I can pull one deal from each open house, that is 52 deals in the books for me for this year. That's all I'd be. I didn't care if it was 20, 30. I don't care how many people showed up. I needed to pull one person from this open house, and that's the mindset I had when I did open houses. The same theory and same concept I had when I did when I ran my Facebook ads. I need to be able to get in contact with one person from this campaign this week. And when I started running ads, I really quickly realized that the problem that people would have with running ads is they start and stop. And you cannot start and stop a business. You do that, you're dead in the water. So every aspect of our business has to have some momentum, and we have to move with true intentions where we are investing not just the money, but the time. And enough with the ego shit. Everyone has ego. But if you lose that ego, trust me, you'll be able to build a real solid business. And I wasn't selling $400,000 and $500,000 houses. My highest price point was like $265. You know what I mean? So I sold a lot of houses to get where I am, or to get where I was when I sold real estate. And again, the mindset that exists in our industry creates that stigma where we just at that will feast the famine. I'll do okay this month, and I'm bad, and then I'm struggling next month. So me selling real estate really fell into a necessity side for me because of when I was in Harlem. I had a shop, and my mom needed full-time care, and I relocated down South Jersey and was quickly humbled of what the houses cost, and thought I was going to be the dude when I came down here, and that didn't happen. And I had to learn what it takes to grow a business. And I think those are the brokers that need to be in the headship of these brokerages. Forget about the whole, the glitz and the glamour. Teach them how to build a business.
Absolutely. I coach to that a lot as well. Lately, I've just been seeing that people want to be recognized more maybe on Instagram or Facebook than they do actually, helping people to, obtain real estate and actually create wealth for themselves. If you do everything for money, that's not really the way that you're going to scale. I believe when you start doing things for other people and you come from that mindset of abundance, that right there, what you said, that, gradually going towards that reciprocity is going to start paying off for you. So right there, man, everything that you're saying is just hitting it right on the head. And a lot of what you said is what's wrong with our business. But you're doing a great part with the leadership you're providing right now, and trying to, at least the people that are surrounding themselves around you are learning to really get away from that. And I think if that happens more and more at scale through the industry can, there's hope for the industry, and it can change. So I certainly appreciate that.
It can really heal. But again, like I said, we have to, it starts from the head up. And unfortunately, some things are what they are. And, we don't have to accept it. We just have to create our own environment. And that's the world we live in. I don't have to participate in a recession if I don't want to.
Yeah, there you go. House is still selling a recession. Let me see here. So let's go ahead and get into it. Kind of some rapid fire questions we're going to throw at you right now. So we understand really what digital natives, hyperlocal domination, and the Facebook advertising for real estate is. We understand who Zillow Killer is. Now we're going to get to the nitty gritty and get to know you personally a little bit better. So knowing what you do now, what would you do different? Does that make sense? No.
Okay. I get it. Okay. What would I do different? I think I would move faster. I think a lot of things where I personally was in my own head, and I had a variety of things that pulled me from not moving as fast as I'm moving now. Because now I understand when you provide value, the world no longer sees color or gender. You know what I mean? So right. That was the problem at one time, where I just figured the world wouldn't accept me. It wouldn't accept me being from Harlem. It wouldn't accept how I talk. And I wasn't, I didn't have time to go and reinvent myself. I got to, speak better English and all this shit. No. I just, so now knowing that transparency holds more value. I think I would have been more transparent then. I wasn't a phony. I just wasn't totally me.
Gotcha. Perfect answer. Where would you focus your business if Facebook was gone tomorrow?
Facebook. I would still do. I mean, if I was selling real estate or advertising, which side?
I would say advertising.
Advertising. Oh well. I mean, we would go back into pretty much list building. That's still powerful. Of course, you still have other platforms outside of Facebook, like YouTube and Instagram. If Instagram wasn't existent, then YouTube would be a dominant voice because we preach really heavy on video. But I think I would stay more where the video is moving because now where old internet is shifting into new internet in reference to ephemeral. I understand it. I haven't seen a return on ephemeral content yet, which is things like Snapchat and TikTok. I haven't seen a return on that. So, if I have to shift platforms, then I would go more towards where video is dominant is where I would go. So wherever video is dominant is where we would go.
Sounds good. All right. So what is the hardest obstacle you've had to overcome so far?
Mindset. I didn't think people would accept me, and that was more of my own personal scarcity mindset. Where for whatever reason, I just figured, honestly speaking, I figured only black people would ever deal with me for whatever reason, and that's just I had no clue. You know what I mean? I didn't understand it. So, like I said, quickly, the more I started to get more comfortable with who I was, and I mean, one thing, I know my shit. So I only talked about my truth. That's why even when I, when I teach, I tell people, if you have a question, ask me. You can't interrupt me or mess me up because I'm only going to talk about what I know. Right. So if me being comfortable with who I am, I should have executed that a lot earlier. And I think, I'm doing great now, but I think I could have been so much further. So much further if I didn't have the mindset. That scarcity mindset. So that's why I shy away from it. I run from it as soon as possible. And when I identify it in other people, I address it immediately. Don't take that on because that becomes almost that, that'll start to portray, that'll fall into your emotions, and your emotions will start to portray you. Whenever you take that scarcity mindset, it's a universal thing. Like it's so much deeper than just, I don't want to, I got a little bit I don't want to share with you. It goes way deeper than that. So I would have been more comfortable giving people me. But my mindset wasn't as strong as it is now.
Absolutely. That should be one of the main things that as soon as an agent joins a brokerage really should have instead of a, what's that called? Not an introduction, but a orientation. As soon as the orientation's over, they should break right into mindset. Here's the coffee machine, here's the restrooms, here's the printer, here's where you drop off your mail or pick up mail, and then now this is the mindset room. Come in here and join us for the next kind of couple hours to a couple weeks, and really work on that. I think that would help agents put themselves into production a lot faster and get out there and start helping people at a higher level very quickly. So I think mindset is the key to the whole thing. And it's not just in our industry either. It's really anything that has to do with the service space. So, all right. So what is your greatest moment or achievement you like to speak about? You can do cliche and say your kids, but that's just cliche. That's politically correct.
I think right now, I have multiple moments, but I love to see when people get it. You know what I mean? Like when people when that aha turns into, oh shit, I get it now. You know what I mean? So, and it's cool and I see that a lot because like I said, we teach and train, directly what we're doing. And I'm very attentive, very personable. And I'm a people person, so I like to see when people get it. So it's multiple moments that I've had. But when a person really oh shit, I understand it. And you can see that it's not just lip service now, they got it. Those are moments that I look for.
Absolutely. Great answer. All right. So who do you look up to in the marketing world?
Nobody.
Nobody.
I'm looking down.
I would love to throw names out, but I don't, you guys know, I'm not in no groups. I don't follow much of anybody. I'm so attentive to my people, which is an HLD. That's who I look up to in reference to growth. And those that have matured in the sense of, I can pull some stuff from you. I'll pull from there. I mean, take like Annette. Annette is, which I call her my favorite German. And she's out in Germany now. And when Annette connected, Annette didn't know much of anything. Like, we took some real time to nurture and get Annette where she is now. But Annette has pretty much, exceeded my expectations of what she can do with Messenger now. Where it's to the point where I'll call Annette, like, hey, Annette, what do you think about this? So it's almost like, you can't find a wife, raise one. So I'll pull from my own people. That's what I look up to. I try not to let things influence me too heavy. I'm always open to hear and learn, but I honestly don't have anybody that I can say like, hey, listen, I look up to him in the marketing world, because the marketing world is so subjective. You know what I mean? It's always something, like, everyone has a cool perspective, but very few people are practitioners, and a lot of big marketers aren't actually, and they're not doing this anymore. I still work with clients. I still we have digital natives is projected to do almost 8 figures next year. I still work with clients because I need to keep that my skills sharp. You know what I mean? So I'm not oblivious, and I know a lot of bigger guys, they're not doing this shit anymore. They give their perspective and they can talk about it, but you're not doing it anymore. So I like to talk with practitioners. Period. That's my thing. So I wish I had somebody to say like this. Nah.
Gotcha. All right. So, what's the end game for James?
I'm trying to kick a dent in this planet. That's my end game. I'm so legacy focused and really trying to help as many people as possible. And now it's been turned into a mission where, yes, I want to help everybody, but I want to be remembered. I don't want to be just when I die and gone, I don't want to be like, he was here. Like, I want to have such an impact to the world where I'm going to be missed when I'm gone. So that's kind of like my drive, and that only comes from helping as many people as possible. I still have that servant mindset. When I sold real estate, how can I be of service? I still have that now, and that's one of my biggest joys. I'll die empty, man. Like, I plan on giving it all as long as I exist. And anybody that I can help take to the next level, and you're serious about it and ready to implement anything in reference to growth, let's rock and roll.
That's awesome. Awesome. So, real estate business, where do you see it going over in the next, 5 years, 10 years?
I don't know. I mean, I would love to say I had some crystal ball, but, everyone has their own interest and projections. I personally don't have any real insight on where I think it's going to go. I do know that the agent will never be it won't come to the point where we become non and void, where it's like, the robots are taking over. That'll never happen. Yeah, it'll never happen. So I think we can relax on that one. And I don't care how many sets of automation and whatever things that create that impersonal approach. The intimacy side of our industry will always exist, but we have to remember it's there. You know what I mean? Like, right. That ROI is really, that being relevant and putting ourselves out there to be omnipresent, and of course tapping into the intimacy side of who we are. So I know that for an absolute fact. So for you guys that's worried that you're going to, someone's, the real estate is going to be non and void and they're not going to be agents, and it's not going to happen.
No.
That personal approach, just like a barber, like, there's no way I'm going to let a robot cut my hair. It's not going to happen.
I absolutely agree with you. I mean, we're never going to replace the H2H, human-to-human interactions. I mean, AI is all it's going to do is really supplement everything that we do and help us grow. And if we're using AI right, and we're using a lot of these other resources out there than that tech space that are being thrown at us, and the other, I'd say, publication, like Inman and whoever else are writing stories about the skies falling for the agent. I just don't buy it. I mean, this is the biggest transaction. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's just the entertainment side. I mean, the scare tactics people put out there, and it's not going to happen.
It's designed to sell more papers. It's designed to sell more subscriptions. It's designed to get you worrying about whichever, and keep up with us, because we're gonna keep you on the forefront. And it's how more people are selling coaching. It's more how to do a lot of things. Real estate coaches these days is kind of the same thing. They're selling a lot of this nonsense, in my opinion. This is completely my opinion. They're just selling some nonsense out there that this is going to happen, when really on the other side of this are people like you, or maybe Josh Smith even, and there's a few others out there. The Harrises, Tim and Julie Harris, they have a great coaching program that are pitching.
I like them.
Yeah. I'm actually one of their certified coaches, so I identify with Tim really well. He'll be on the show actually coming up soon. But yeah, I just think it's more of, you have to drill down. You have to do the things that you don't want to do when you don't want to do them, and then when you supplement that with all the advertising out there, and you're being very omnipresent, like you say, and getting out in front of your market, that's when the magic starts to happen, and you start treating this like a business. So it's a compilation of all that, the mindset. Then you start doing these things that you've laid down for a lot of these folks, or for a lot of people you're having success with, is probably the best way that you can look at the business right now and how to grow. So really appreciate that, James. Let me see if I have anything else for you. You have anything else you want to tell us? I know you got a boot camp coming up, so why don't you tell us on the dates on that one?
Yeah, the next boot camp is October 7th, and it's going to run from October 7th to, I believe, the 11th, the entire week, Monday to Friday. And like I said, you spend at least 2 nights with me in full training, and we stay even longer. I say training because some people stick with the training and they oof and be gone, but we go from training straight into Q&A. I never rush to Q&A because it gives me some time to be intimate with the people that's there, answer questions, give some real context. The investment is only $197, but we don't even keep that. We're donating all our proceeds to different children's charities. So our way of giving back to our future. But like I said, the trainings in the boot camp as a whole is my way of giving back to the industry, where you can't say you don't know. You know what I mean? Like if you really want to grow your business, you really want to know what real practitioner looks like in reference to this internet world. Well, I'm game to show you. But like I said, the proceeds, we don't keep the money. The money goes, like I said, we rotate in different children's charity, and the next one is October 7th. So, listen, I think we only hold about 50 or 60 people per boot camp. So it's real small. It's not overwhelming, and I can guarantee I won't lose you. I hold tight to people that's like scared, and I make sure you guys have true clarity on what we're doing, where we're moving. A lot of information, but it's exactly what you guys need to change your business. So
definitely a lot of information. I definitely highly recommend it. We've done it, like I said, twice, and then the first time was kind of like, even though we understood Facebook ads and we understood some of the marketing, it was still kind of like turning the information on with trying to drink out of a fire hose. And so, but you made the videos available to us, which I believe they're still available to us. So when we want some clarification, we can go back and take a look at those videos and fast forward through some things. So it was completely valuable for us. The 197 is a drop in the bucket for you out there trying to learn. If you don't have $200 to invest in your business, you're in the wrong business. Get out, go the other way.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's tenfold for us right now. I've got Marshall and James running ads at really a high level and blown away with the impact it's having. And it's bringing in leads. These are things we can talk about some other time, but bringing in leads, but you're also teaching people really how to follow up. And that's really the biggest thing. Is none of us, I believe, have a lead problem. We have a follow-up problem. Is we're not knowing how to follow up in a timely fashion, what to say, what's the next step on the Facebook ads, and you really teach everybody that. So I highly encourage everybody to attend, one of the boot camps out there. And like I said, hit the Facebook group, Facebook Advertising for Real Estate. We'll drop it in the show notes below. And then a lot of his other links, we'll go ahead and link those as well. Hyperlocal Domination, Digital Natives, and we have been talking to James Rembert, which is known as the Zillow Killer. Complete badass. All right, buddy. Anything else before we take off, man?
No, thank you. Thank you, guys.
No, complete honor, man. We'll talk to you soon, and more than likely we'll join this next boot camp coming in October, because every time you're just providing more value, and it's, like I said, it's worth the money. So, James, we really appreciate you being on, and for next time, we'll chat then.
Thank you, Dave.
You got it. All right. I wanted to thank our sponsors real quick. Mike Harrell with Guaranteed Rate. He is available at info@realestateontheRocks.com. If you need anything, just reach out there. Don't forget about our Facebook group is the Top Shelf Agents Network. We certainly appreciate you joining that. And if you need any other information, you can reach out to us at Top Shelf at 88000. Remember, Top Shelf at 88000. James Rembert, appreciate it. We're out.
I'm out.
Thanks, Dave. Later, you guys.
See ya.